Hello everybody and welcome back. Tonight I have a strange tale for you and it comes from Henley. And it's the Henley Invisible Tree Snapper. And it was from a gentleman who got in touch with me by YouTube. And he says, "Hello Deborah. Before I recount a second-hand story, I'll give you some background on myself. I'm new to this subject after being drawn in by videos on YouTube and on channels like Impossible Visits and Sasquatch Chronicles. Something of a personal interest to me are the stick and tree structures. As I'm a tree surgeon by profession, but not just because of my work, I've also spent many months camping and working in woodland areas when I was younger, so I would consider myself a good judge of what may or may not be natural. I'm used to weather damage in the woods and natural rot and disease. Anyway, a few days ago I came across your site, and I saw so many reports of people having accounts with ape-like creatures and strange sticks and structure finds, which has caused me to re-evaluate the story I was told by a good friend, a fellow tree surgeon, a number of years ago now. It takes place maybe 15 years or more, when I was a groundsman apprentice to a tree surgeon who was about 15 years my senior. I'll call him G. For now, he doesn't know I'm contacting you. Something happened back then that had a profound effect upon G. In those days, we lived in different parts of Wales. He was in the east and I was on the west coast, and we'd get together and travel down to Oxfordshire to subcontract for firms down there, as the money was always better. When we worked away, we always camped in either tents or caravans, whatever was the cheapest option to save money, and we would camp or stay on the job site if we could, as that was even better, and it cut out the travel to and fro. On this occasion, G was down there without me, but I know the location well, as I stayed there many times myself. The location is on the edge of a village called Stoke Row, and it's not too far from Henley-on-Thames. We used to camp behind a pub called the Crooked Billet, which is on a quiet lane, has a small field behind it, backing onto beach woodland, with public access. A nice area and pretty quiet. G told me that day that he'd gotten back from the work site and was laying down in his caravan after a hard day climbing. So this would be around 5 or 6 p.m. He began to hear loud noise of branches snapping in the woods nearby. And at first, he was thinking maybe children were playing in the woods, making a racket. However, the noises became much louder. So much so that he eventually decided to go and investigate, as it was interrupting his rest. As he approached the woods, he could hear what sounded like large limbs being snapped in the canopy up above him. Even more curious now, and not being able to see what the source of the sounds, he headed straight into the woods to find out what was going on. At this point, the sounds of breaking branches seemed to move off through the trees away from him, and he was never able to see what was up there. He said it was as if something he couldn't see was moving through the tree canopy with ease, and it was moving away from him whilst all the time unseen. He also claimed to find large, freshly snapped off branches as thick as his arm on the ground, and his conclusion was it could only be something like an orangutan to be able to climb so fast and be so strong. It went through the top of the trees moving fast, but I couldn't see it. I could hear it smashing its way through, and I could see movement of limbs and boughs, but I couldn't see it at all, he said. Of course, when I first heard this story, I took Michael, it's not the kind of place you get in, orangutans. It's Henley. But I spoke to him a couple of times over the next couple of years, pardon me, and he always stuck to his story. He never changed in any way, and I become inclined to believe him. I haven't been in touch with him for a couple of years, as he now lives on a boat in Cornwall, the last I knew. I do know he used to keep a diary, so we may have a more accurate account written down at the time. So that's the story, and I hope it's of some interest. Until next time, Deborah.